Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn English with Podcast Conversation. I'm Jennifer, and if you're new here, we upload English learning podcasts to help you learn new phrases and develop a better understanding of English.
I'm Thomas, and today we'll be discussing an important topic: environmental issues. From climate change to pollution, these are global challenges that affect us all. We'll also share useful vocabulary and phrases to help you talk about these issues in English.
One major environmental issue is climate change. It's caused by human activities, like burning fossil fuels, which release greenhouse gases. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere, leading to global warming. What do you think, Thomas?
That's a big problem, Jennifer. Global warming results in melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and more extreme weather events such as hurricanes and droughts. These changes impact wildlife, ecosystems, and even our daily lives.
Exactly. Another key issue is deforestation. Forests absorb carbon dioxide, but when they are cut down, more CO2 remains in the atmosphere. This contributes to global warming and destroys the habitats of many species.
Deforestation also affects indigenous communities who rely on forests for their livelihoods. Protecting these forests is essential not just for the environment, but also for preserving cultural heritage.
Pollution is another critical concern. Plastic pollution, for example, harms marine life and clogs waterways. Single-use plastics, like bags and bottles, take hundreds of years to decompose. What's your view, Thomas?
Plastic pollution is everywhere. Microplastics are now found in the food we eat and the water we drink. It's alarming to think about the long-term effects this could have on our health and the planet.
Air pollution is equally dangerous. Factories, cars, and burning waste release harmful chemicals into the air. Breathing polluted air can lead to serious health issues, including asthma and lung disease.
Air pollution not only harms humans but also damages crops and buildings. Reducing emissions and transitioning to cleaner energy sources are essential steps to improving air quality.
Water scarcity is another environmental challenge. Many regions face severe droughts, and access to clean drinking water is becoming increasingly limited. What solutions can help, Thomas?
Water conservation is key. Simple actions like fixing leaks and using water-efficient appliances can make a difference. On a larger scale, governments need to invest in sustainable water management systems.
Waste management is closely related. Improper disposal of garbage, especially in developing areas, leads to land and water pollution. Recycling and composting are effective ways to reduce waste.
Education also plays a role. Teaching communities about the importance of recycling and proper waste disposal can create long-term changes in behavior, leading to a cleaner environment for future generations.
Another critical environmental issue is biodiversity loss. As habitats are destroyed by deforestation, urbanization, and climate change, many species face extinction. Biodiversity is essential for maintaining balanced ecosystems and ensuring food security.
You're absolutely right, Jennifer. Every species plays a role in its ecosystem. When one disappears, it can disrupt the entire system. For example, the decline of bees, which are vital pollinators, threatens the production of many crops we depend on for food.
One solution is to create protected areas like wildlife reserves and national parks. These zones help conserve habitats and allow species to thrive. Communities can also contribute by planting native trees and creating spaces for wildlife in urban areas.
Governments must also enforce laws against illegal hunting and poaching, which contribute to biodiversity loss. Supporting sustainable farming and fishing practices is equally important to protect both the environment and livelihoods.
Let's talk about renewable energy as a solution to many environmental problems. Switching to wind, solar, and hydropower can reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, which are the main contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Renewable energy is cleaner and sustainable.
Renewable energy also creates jobs and boosts local economies. For example, installing solar panels or wind turbines require skilled workers. This shift can help build a more sustainable future while reducing environmental harm.
Transitioning to renewables isn't always easy, though. Many countries face challenges, like the high initial costs of installing clean energy systems or resistance from industries that rely on fossil fuels. Governments need to offer incentives and subsidies to make the transition smoother.
Public awareness is also crucial. Educating people about the benefits of renewable energy can encourage them to adopt cleaner energy solutions at home, like using solar water heaters or energy-efficient appliances. Collective action makes a big difference.
Urbanization is another factor affecting the environment. As cities expand, natural habitats are often destroyed to make way for buildings and roads. Urban areas also generate large amounts of waste and use significant energy, increasing environmental stress.
Urbanization has its benefits, like economic growth and better infrastructure, but it needs to be managed responsibly. Green urban planning can help reduce its impact. This includes designing cities with more parks, green roofs, and energy-efficient buildings.
Public transportation is a key aspect of eco-friendly cities. Encouraging people to use buses, trains, or bicycles instead of cars can significantly cut down emissions. Cities can also invest in electric buses or bike-sharing programs to make transportation cleaner.
Sustainable urban development also means addressing waste management. Proper recycling systems, composting initiatives, and waste-to-energy technologies can help reduce landfill waste and generate energy, creating a win-win situation for the environment and urban communities.
The impact of industrialization on the environment is another major issue we need to address. Factories release large quantities of pollutants into the air, soil, and water. These chemicals can harm not only wildlife, but also human health. In fact, many industrial regions face severe environmental degradation.
Industrialization has contributed to economic growth, but it also comes with significant environmental costs. Large-scale production processes often require vast amounts of resources, leading to deforestation, water overuse, and soil contamination. The rise of waste and emissions is a direct result.
To combat these effects, governments and businesses must implement stricter environmental regulations. Companies can adopt cleaner, greener production techniques like reducing waste, recycling materials, and using non-toxic chemicals. Green technology is becoming more accessible and effective.
Another critical measure is adopting the circular economy model. This approach minimizes waste by reusing materials and products instead of discarding them. Manufacturers can design products with longer lifespans and the ability to be easily repaired or recycled, promoting sustainability across industries.
Let's shift gears a bit and discuss the role of education in tackling environmental issues. Raising awareness about the importance of the environment from a young age can lead to more responsible behaviors in the future. Schools and universities can play a pivotal role in fostering environmental consciousness.
Absolutely, Jennifer. By integrating environmental education into school curriculums, children can learn about the impacts of their actions on the planet. As they grow older, they'll be more likely to adopt sustainable habits like reducing waste, conserving energy, and supporting eco-friendly businesses.
It's not just about what is taught in the classroom. Encouraging outdoor activities like nature walks or community cleanup projects helps young people connect with the environment. These experiences build a stronger sense of responsibility and respect for nature.
Moreover, education isn't limited to schools. Adults can also benefit from environmental awareness programs in workplaces or community centers. These programs can teach practical steps like reducing water usage, recycling, or how to choose sustainable products to make a difference in their daily lives.
Another emerging issue is the rise of sustainable fashion. The fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries in the world, contributing significantly to water waste, pollution, and textile waste. However, there's a growing movement toward more sustainable practices in fashion.
Yes, Jennifer, sustainable fashion focuses on using eco-friendly materials such as organic cotton, bamboo, and recycled fabrics. It also involves ethical production practices, ensuring that workers are paid fairly and treated well. By supporting such brands, we can reduce the environmental impact of our wardrobes.
One major aspect of sustainable fashion is the idea of buying fewer, higher quality pieces that last longer. This contrasts with the fast fashion model, where clothes are cheap and mass-produced, often leading to waste. By investing in durable clothing, we can reduce the demand for disposable fashion.
Repurposing and upcycling old clothes is another great way to promote sustainability. Instead of throwing out clothes that no longer fit or that have minor damage, we can repair or transform them into something new. This reduces waste and gives clothes a second life, helping the environment.
Now, let's talk about the growing problem of food waste, which is another significant environmental issue. It's estimated that 1/3 of all food produced globally goes to waste. This not only wastes resources like water and energy, but also contributes to methane emissions in landfills, which is a potent greenhouse gas.
Exactly, Jennifer, the food industry has a massive carbon footprint, from farming to packaging to transportation. But when food is thrown away, that energy is wasted and the resources used in its production are lost. In many cases, perfectly edible food ends up in landfills instead of being consumed or repurposed.
The solution involves both reducing food waste and improving food distribution. At the individual level, we can start by planning our meals better, using leftovers creatively, and being mindful of expiration dates. Many organizations also encourage donating surplus food to help those in need. One of the most impactful ways to address environmental issues is through policy changes. Governments play a crucial role in regulating industries, implementing green policies, and setting long-term sustainability goals. Strong environmental regulations can push companies to adopt cleaner practices and reduce emissions.
That's right, Jennifer. Policies like carbon pricing, renewable energy incentives, and restrictions on harmful chemicals can drive environmental change on a national and global scale. International agreements, like the Paris Agreement, are also essential for ensuring countries commit to reducing their carbon footprints.
It's not only about creating laws, but also ensuring they are enforced. Many times, companies and industries violate environmental regulations because they're not properly monitored. Governments must invest in robust systems to track environmental violations and hold offenders accountable.
Public participation is also key. Citizens can advocate for stricter environmental policies, demand transparency from companies, and support political leaders who prioritize the environment. When people voice their concerns and take action, it can create pressure for real change.
Let's not forget about the role of technology in solving environmental problems. In recent years, advancements in technology have helped us create cleaner, more sustainable solutions. For example, electric vehicles are helping reduce air pollution, and renewable energy technologies are becoming more efficient and affordable.
Technology is also transforming industries like agriculture. For instance, precision farming allows farmers to use resources like water and fertilizers more efficiently, reducing waste and environmental damage. Advances in biotechnology are also creating crops that require less water and can withstand harsh climates.
We're seeing innovations in waste management as well. Technologies like waste-to-energy systems and advanced recycling methods help reduce landfill waste and convert it into usable energy. These solutions are an important part of creating a circular economy where nothing is wasted.
The role of innovation doesn't stop there. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are also being used to predict environmental changes such as weather patterns or deforestation rates. These technologies help scientists and policymakers make informed decisions that can help mitigate environmental damage.
Climate change is perhaps the most urgent environmental issue we face today. Rising temperatures are leading to more extreme weather patterns, melting ice caps, and rising sea levels. This disrupts ecosystems, damages infrastructure, and threatens the survival of vulnerable communities worldwide.
Indeed, Jennifer, climate change affects every aspect of life, from agriculture to water resources and even human health. The effects are already being felt. Droughts are worsening in some regions, while others experience intense flooding. The time to take action is now before the damage becomes irreversible.
One of the main contributors to climate change is the burning of fossil fuels for energy. Reducing our reliance on coal, oil, and natural gas is crucial. Renewable energy like solar, wind, and geothermal offers a sustainable way to generate power without contributing to greenhouse gas emissions.
Besides energy, transportation is another significant factor. Cars, trucks, and planes are major sources of carbon emissions. Moving toward electric vehicles and improving public transportation can reduce transportation-related emissions. Urban planning that prioritizes walking and cycling can also play a key role.
Another key aspect in fighting climate change is deforestation. Forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. However, they are being cleared at alarming rates for agriculture, logging, and urban expansion. When trees are cut down or burned, not only do we lose these carbon sinks, but we also release stored CO2.
You're right, Jennifer. Deforestation not only contributes to climate change, but also threatens biodiversity. Forests are home to countless species of plants, animals, and microorganisms. Protecting them is essential not only for the climate, but for maintaining global biodiversity and healthy ecosystems.
There are solutions to deforestation, though. One of the most effective is promoting sustainable farming and forestry practices. Agroforestry, which combines agriculture and tree planting, allows for food production without destroying forests. Additionally, reforestation and afforestation programs can help restore lost forests.
On a global scale, countries must implement policies that discourage deforestation and incentivize conservation. Strong enforcement of environmental laws, along with international cooperation to protect forests, is crucial. Educating consumers about the environmental impact of their purchases can also make a difference.
Let's shift to the role of sustainable agriculture in preserving the environment. Modern agricultural practices, such as monocropping and the overuse of synthetic fertilizers, have led to soil degradation, water pollution, and the loss of biodiversity. Sustainable farming focuses on maintaining soil health and reducing the environmental impact of food production.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Sustainable agriculture incorporates practices like crop rotation, agroecology, and organic farming. These methods help restore soil fertility, conserve water, and reduce the need for harmful pesticides. The goal is to produce food in a way that is both environmentally and economically sustainable.
A big part of sustainable farming is also reducing food waste. As we discussed earlier, food waste is a massive environmental issue. When food is wasted, so are the resources used to grow, process, and transport it. Consumers and businesses alike can reduce waste by planning meals carefully and repurposing leftovers. Sustainable food systems are not only about how food is grown, but also about how it's consumed. Supporting local farmers and choosing seasonal, organic produce can help reduce the carbon footprint of our food. Additionally, reducing meat consumption can significantly lower the environmental impact of our diets. Another major environmental issue is water scarcity. Fresh water is essential for life, yet we are rapidly depleting our water resources. Over-extraction of groundwater, pollution, and climate change are making clean water less accessible to millions of people around the world. This creates a ripple effect, impacting agriculture, health, and ecosystems.
Water scarcity is becoming more and more urgent, Jennifer. Many regions, especially in arid areas, rely heavily on irrigation for agriculture, and that can put enormous pressure on local water supplies. When water is overused, rivers dry up and aquifers become depleted, leaving communities without a vital resource.
To address water scarcity, we need to improve water management and conservation efforts. One way to do this is through better irrigation techniques that use less water, such as drip irrigation. Additionally, capturing and storing rainwater can help provide water for agriculture and drinking in areas where it's scarce.
Investing in water recycling and desalination technology can also provide additional sources of water, especially for cities and industries. Public awareness about water conservation is crucial too. Simple actions like fixing leaky faucets, reducing water usage in homes, and using water-efficient appliances can make a significant difference.
Pollution, in its many forms, is another pressing environmental concern. Air pollution from vehicle emissions and industrial activities, plastic pollution in oceans, and chemical waste leaking into rivers are all causing serious harm to our planet. The consequences include health issues, harm to wildlife, and the degradation of natural habitats.
Pollution has far-reaching effects. Air pollution, for instance, contributes to respiratory diseases in humans, especially in urban areas with heavy traffic. Plastic waste, on the other hand, chokes marine life, with thousands of animals dying every year from ingesting or getting tangled in plastic debris. It's a crisis that demands urgent action.
There are solutions to pollution, but they require a collective effort. First, we need to switch to cleaner energy sources to reduce air pollution. Electric vehicles, renewable energy, and green building initiatives can all help. On the plastic front, reducing single-use plastics and promoting recycling are key steps.
Another solution is reducing industrial pollution by enforcing stricter regulations on waste disposal and emissions. We can also support technologies that remove pollutants from the air and water, like carbon capture and filtration systems. Education and awareness can also lead to better waste management practices at the individual level.
In addition to tackling pollution, we need to pay attention to sustainable urban development. As cities grow, they often face challenges like congestion, inadequate public transportation, and overpopulation. Urban sprawl leads to deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and increased emissions. Sustainable urban planning can help mitigate these issues.
Exactly, Jennifer. Sustainable cities prioritize green spaces, efficient public transportation, and renewable energy infrastructure. Cities should be designed to minimize their environmental impact by integrating nature with urban areas. Green rooftops, urban gardens, and bike lanes are great examples of how urban spaces can become more sustainable.
Smart cities are another exciting development in sustainable urban planning. By using digital technologies, we can optimize energy use, reduce waste, and improve transportation. For example, smart grids can help cities reduce their energy consumption, while sensors can track waste production and manage resources more efficiently.
Sustainable urban living also involves creating inclusive communities where people have access to affordable housing, education, and health care without compromising the environment. Urban areas should be designed with environmental, economic, and social sustainability in mind. This way, cities can grow without sacrificing the planet.
One crucial factor in addressing environmental issues is the role of education. Environmental awareness is key to making informed decisions about how we interact with our surroundings. By teaching the next generation about sustainability and the impact of their actions, we can create a society that is more mindful of its environmental footprint.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Environmental education helps individuals understand the importance of conserving resources, protecting biodiversity, and reducing pollution. Schools, universities, and even community centers have a responsibility to provide the knowledge and tools necessary for young people to become environmental stewards.
Incorporating sustainability into curricula is vital. Schools can teach students about renewable energy, waste reduction, and the importance of reducing carbon footprints. Additionally, hands-on learning through school gardens or environmental projects helps students connect with nature and understand the challenges of environmental preservation.
Public education campaigns are just as important. Governments and organizations should raise awareness through social media, public service announcements, and community workshops. The more people understand the urgency of environmental issues, the more likely they are to take action, whether through personal lifestyle changes or advocacy.
Sustainable consumption is another area that requires attention. The way we consume goods and services directly impacts the environment. From the production of goods to their disposal, everything has an environmental cost. By shifting towards more sustainable consumption habits, we can significantly reduce our ecological footprint.
Exactly, Jennifer. Sustainable consumption starts with making mindful choices about the products we buy. Opting for eco-friendly goods, such as items made from recycled materials or those with minimal packaging, is a great start. Supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability over profit is another important step in the right direction.
Reducing, reusing, and recycling are fundamental principles of sustainable consumption. It's crucial to buy only what we need and to reuse items whenever possible, rather than discarding them. For instance, repurposing old clothing or furniture not only saves money but also reduces waste that ends up in landfills.
As consumers, we also have the power to influence companies by choosing products that are ethically sourced and produced with minimal environmental harm. If businesses see a demand for sustainable goods, they will likely shift their practices to meet those expectations. The power of consumer choice cannot be underestimated.
Another vital aspect of addressing environmental issues is the role of policy and legislation. Governments play a significant role in shaping the future of the planet. Strong environmental policies, like regulations on emissions, deforestation, and waste management, can help guide industries toward more sustainable practices.
Indeed, Jennifer, without effective laws and policies, it is difficult to hold corporations and individuals accountable for their environmental impact. Governments must set clear standards, enforce penalties for noncompliance, and provide incentives for businesses to adopt green practices. Policies should encourage renewable energy adoption and reduce the reliance on fossil fuels.
International agreements also play an important role. Climate change is a global issue that requires global cooperation. Treaties like the Paris Agreement are essential for uniting countries around a common goal, reducing global warming and mitigating climate change. When countries work together, they can achieve more significant results.
Policy is not just about regulation, it also involves investment in green technologies. Governments must fund research into renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and pollution control. Providing financial support for innovation and green startups will encourage the development of solutions that can make a lasting impact on the environment.
Another critical topic in environmental discussions is renewable energy. Transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower is essential for combating climate change. These energy sources are not only sustainable, but also produce little to no greenhouse gas emissions, making them a cornerstone of a greener future.
Renewable energy has the potential to revolutionize the way we power our world, Jennifer. Solar panels and wind turbines are becoming more affordable and efficient, enabling more households and businesses to adopt clean energy solutions. Additionally, renewable energy creates job opportunities in new industries, further boosting the global economy.
We need governments and private sectors to invest in renewable energy infrastructure. This includes expanding wind and solar farms, improving energy storage systems like batteries, and upgrading the power grid to handle renewable sources. Public awareness about the benefits of clean energy can also encourage more widespread adoption.
Transitioning to renewable energy isn't just about technology, it's also about changing mindsets. People need to see the long-term benefits of clean energy for their health and environment. Incentives such as tax breaks for installing solar panels or purchasing electric vehicles can make this shift more appealing and accessible.
Biodiversity loss is another significant environmental issue. As habitats are destroyed due to deforestation, agriculture, and urban development, countless species face extinction. Biodiversity is vital for maintaining balanced ecosystems, which in turn support human life by providing clean air, water, and food.
The loss of biodiversity impacts us in ways we might not immediately realize, Jennifer. For example, bees and other pollinators are essential for growing many of the crops we rely on. Without them, food production would decline, leading to higher prices and potential shortages. Protecting biodiversity is about securing our future.
Conservation efforts are crucial to combating biodiversity loss. This includes establishing protected areas like national parks and wildlife reserves, restoring degraded habitats, and implementing sustainable farming practices. Educating communities about the importance of preserving their local ecosystems can also make a big difference.
We must also tackle illegal activities like poaching and logging, which threaten wildlife and their habitats. Governments and organizations need to strengthen laws and enforcement, as well as work with local communities to provide alternative livelihoods. Protecting biodiversity is a shared responsibility that benefits us all.
Let's talk about sustainable agriculture, which is key to feeding a growing population while preserving our planet. Conventional farming methods often lead to soil degradation, water waste, and excessive greenhouse gas emissions. Sustainable agriculture focuses on practices that maintain soil health, conserve water, and reduce environmental harm.
Sustainable agriculture is about finding a balance, Jennifer. Techniques like crop rotation, organic farming, and agroforestry help maintain soil fertility and reduce the need for chemical fertilizers. These methods are not only better for the environment but also produce healthier food for consumers.
Another effective approach is precision farming, which uses technology to optimize resource use. For instance, GPS-guided tractors and drones can ensure that water, fertilizers, and pesticides are applied only where needed, reducing waste and minimizing environmental impact. It's a modern solution to an age-old challenge.
Community-supported agriculture, or CSA, is another great model. It connects farmers directly with consumers, encouraging local food production and reducing the carbon footprint associated with transportation. Supporting local farms also strengthens communities and ensures fresher, more nutritious food options for everyone.
Another pressing topic is water conservation. Fresh water is a limited resource, and with increasing demand and climate change, water scarcity is becoming a global issue. Overusing water depletes aquifers, damages ecosystems, and disrupts communities that rely on these water sources for survival.
Water conservation involves not just reducing waste, but also protecting the quality of our water supply, Jennifer. Industries, agriculture, and households all have roles to play. Practices like rainwater harvesting, efficient irrigation systems, and reducing chemical runoff can go a long way in preserving water resources for future generations.
Simple habits at home can also make a big impact. Fixing leaks, using water-efficient appliances, and turning off taps while brushing teeth are small changes that add up. Raising awareness about these habits, especially in schools, can encourage young people to value water as a precious resource.
On a larger scale, governments must prioritize policies that regulate water usage and pollution. Building sustainable infrastructure like desalination plants or wastewater treatment facilities can ensure that clean water remains accessible. Water is a universal necessity, and safeguarding it should be a top priority globally.
Climate justice is an important aspect of environmental discussions that we cannot overlook. Climate change disproportionately affects vulnerable communities, especially in developing countries. These communities often contribute the least to global emissions yet face the harshest consequences, like rising sea levels and extreme weather.
You're right, Jennifer. Climate justice focuses on equity and fairness. Wealthier nations and corporations that have historically contributed more to climate change have a responsibility to support those who are struggling with its impacts. This can involve financial aid, technology transfer, and policy changes aimed at mitigating harm.
Grassroots movements play a vital role in promoting climate justice. Local communities often have the best understanding of their unique challenges and the solutions that might work for them. Supporting these movements through funding and awareness campaigns amplifies their voices on the global stage.
International cooperation is essential. Agreements like the Paris Climate Accord are steps in the right direction, but real progress requires countries to honor their commitments and collaborate on innovative solutions. Climate justice ensures that no one is left behind as we address the environmental crisis.
Another major topic is the role of technology in solving environmental issues. Technological innovations have the potential to revolutionize how we tackle problems like pollution, waste management, and renewable energy. From AI-driven climate models to advanced recycling technologies, the possibilities are endless.
Technology can also help monitor and reduce environmental harm, Jennifer. For example, satellite imagery and drones are being used to track deforestation and illegal activities like poaching. This data helps organizations and governments intervene more effectively and protect vulnerable ecosystems.
Innovations in energy storage are particularly exciting. Efficient battery technology, for instance, makes renewable energy sources like solar and wind more reliable by storing excess power for use during low production periods. This could help make clean energy a primary source of power globally.
We must ensure that technology is accessible to everyone, not just wealthier nations or industries. Collaboration between governments, tech companies, and nonprofits can help bring these advancements to regions that need them most. Technology is a tool, but it must be used responsibly to benefit the planet and all its inhabitants.
Sustainable transportation is an essential part of reducing our carbon footprint. With global urbanization increasing, the transportation sector is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Transitioning from gas-powered vehicles to electric and public transport options is crucial for cleaner cities and healthier air.
Exactly, Jennifer. Electric vehicles are a game changer in reducing emissions, but they must be integrated into a broader transportation strategy. Investing in public transportation systems, bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly infrastructure can further reduce reliance on personal cars, decreasing traffic congestion and pollution.
Additionally, innovations like car-sharing programs and electric buses are becoming more widespread, making sustainable transportation options more accessible to everyone. Governments should offer incentives, such as tax rebates for e-purchases or subsidies for electric buses, to make these options affordable and appealing.
On a global scale, developing nations should also have access to clean transportation solutions. It's essential that technology and resources are shared equitably so everyone, regardless of their economic situation, can benefit from sustainable alternatives. The future of transportation needs to be inclusive and eco-friendly.
One critical issue that often gets overlooked is waste management. The world generates millions of tons of waste every day, much of it plastic, which takes hundreds of years to decompose. Effective waste management systems, recycling, and reducing single-use plastics are necessary for preserving our environment.
It's a tough problem, Jennifer. The current linear economy where products are made, used, and discarded needs to shift toward a circular economy where waste is minimized and materials are reused. Programs that encourage recycling, like bottle return systems and zero-waste initiatives, help communities reduce landfill waste and recycle more.
Public awareness is key in driving change. People need to understand how to separate waste correctly, what can be recycled, and what should be composted. Schools and media campaigns can educate the public, empowering individuals to reduce, reuse, and recycle more efficiently, lessening the burden on landfills.
Governments also have a role in implementing stronger regulations to limit waste. Banning single-use plastics, encouraging biodegradable packaging, and creating incentives for businesses to adopt sustainable practices are all steps that can help curb waste production and foster a culture of sustainability.
We must also discuss the impact of deforestation, which is responsible for the loss of biodiversity and contributes significantly to climate change. Trees act as carbon sinks, absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. When forests are destroyed, not only does this carbon remain in the air, but it also harms countless species that rely on forests for their habitat.
Yes, deforestation is a major environmental challenge. It's essential that we protect existing forests and prioritize reforestation efforts. Governments, businesses, and communities should collaborate on initiatives to plant more trees, restore damaged ecosystems, and implement policies that prevent illegal logging activities.
In addition to planting trees, we need to support sustainable forest management practices. This involves carefully planning how forests are used, ensuring they can regenerate and continue providing valuable ecosystem services, such as purifier and water, supporting wildlife, and even helping to prevent floods and landslides.
Sustainable consumer habits are also a part of the solution. If consumers demand more sustainable products, businesses will have an incentive to change their supply chains and reduce the impact of their operations on forests. By choosing sustainably sourced products, we can collectively help protect vital forests and the resources they provide.
Another issue we must address is the importance of biodiversity. Every species plays a role in maintaining ecological balance. When ecosystems are disrupted, species are lost, which affects food chains, water cycles, and even the climate. Protecting biodiversity is crucial for the health of our planet.
Biodiversity is the foundation of ecosystems, Jennifer. When biodiversity declines, it compromises the resilience of ecosystems to adapt to changes like climate fluctuations. Preserving species helps maintain ecosystem functions such as pollination, pest control, and soil fertility, all vital to human survival.
To protect biodiversity, we need to create more protected areas and conserve existing ones. Implementing stronger conservation laws, combating poaching, and promoting sustainable agricultural practices can all help preserve habitats for endangered species. It's important that we take immediate action before it's too late.
Additionally, we can focus on rewilding projects where ecosystems are restored to their natural state and species are reintroduced to areas where they have been lost. These efforts are vital in reversing the damage done by habitat destruction and supporting the recovery of endangered species.
Education is one of the most powerful tools in tackling environmental issues. Teaching people, especially young generations, about sustainability, climate change, and conservation can help shape a future that values the environment. Schools, universities, and even social media platforms have a role to play in spreading awareness.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Education empowers individuals to make informed choices. By integrating environmental science into curriculums and encouraging eco-friendly behavior, we can nurture a generation of responsible citizens. Informing the public about how everyday actions impact the planet is key to fostering positive change.
Public campaigns, documentaries, and online platforms can also be used to reach a wide audience. When people see the real impact of environmental destruction, it can spark a sense of urgency. Using storytelling, visual media, and facts can make environmental issues more relatable and inspire people to take action.
Governments and organizations must support environmental education programs at all levels. By providing resources, funding, and incentives to educational institutions, we can ensure that sustainability is prioritized. With better education, people are more likely to adopt greener practices in their daily lives.
One more crucial area to focus on is sustainable agriculture. As the global population grows, we need to produce more food. However, industrial farming methods have caused soil degradation, water pollution, and deforestation. Sustainable farming methods, like organic farming and agroforestry, can help mitigate these issues.
Sustainable agriculture not only helps reduce environmental harm but also improves the resilience of our food systems. Techniques like crop rotation, agroecology, and reducing pesticide use not only maintain soil health but also protect local ecosystems. These methods are more sustainable in the long term.
Supporting local farmers who adopt sustainable practices is also key. It's essential for consumers to support products that come from environmentally friendly and ethical farming systems. This not only promotes healthier food choices, but also ensures that farming practices are in harmony with the environment.
Governments should provide incentives for farmers to transition to sustainable methods, offering grants or subsidies to make it more accessible. By creating policies that reward sustainability, we can shift the entire agriculture sector toward practices that benefit both the environment and the economy.
One of the most pressing environmental issues today is water scarcity. Around the world, millions of people lack access to clean water. Climate change, over-extraction of groundwater, and pollution all contribute to the growing water crisis. We need sustainable water management systems to ensure a safe water supply for future generations.
Water scarcity is indeed a serious issue, Jennifer. In many parts of the world, the demand for water exceeds the supply, and this puts strain on agriculture, industry, and households. To address this, we must invest in technologies like water recycling, rainwater harvesting, and desalination, especially in arid regions.
Moreover, it's essential to raise awareness about water conservation. Simple actions like fixing leaks, using water-efficient appliances, and reducing water waste in daily life can make a significant difference. Educating communities on how to use water responsibly can help alleviate pressure on local water sources.
In addition, we must protect water bodies from pollution. Industrial waste, agricultural runoff, and plastic waste all contaminate water sources, making them unsafe for consumption. Stronger regulations on waste management, pollution control, and stricter enforcement are necessary to protect our freshwater resources.
The role of businesses in protecting the environment cannot be overstated. Many industries contribute significantly to environmental damage through deforestation, pollution, and overuse of resources. However, businesses also have the potential to lead the way in promoting sustainability through responsible practices and innovative solutions.
Yes, Jennifer, businesses have a crucial role in driving change. By adopting sustainable practices like reducing carbon emissions, minimizing waste, and using renewable energy, companies can reduce their environmental footprint. Additionally, businesses should focus on creating products that are durable, recyclable, and have minimal environmental impact.
Consumers also have a significant influence on businesses. By demanding sustainable products and supporting companies that prioritize environmental responsibility, we can create a shift in the market. Public pressure and consumer behavior often lead to companies adopting more sustainable practices, making it a win-win for both the planet and the economy.
Governments also play a key role in encouraging businesses to adopt sustainable practices. By offering incentives such as tax breaks or subsidies for companies that invest in green technologies, governments can help businesses transition to environmentally friendly models. This creates a more sustainable economy for everyone.
One of the most impactful ways to combat environmental issues is by adopting renewable energy sources. Fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas are the primary drivers of climate change. Transitioning to clean, renewable energy such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Exactly, Jennifer. Renewable energy not only helps reduce emissions but also decreases our dependence on finite resources. Solar and wind energy, for example, are abundant, sustainable, and environmentally friendly. Investing in renewable energy infrastructure is essential for creating a low-carbon future.
Another important aspect is energy efficiency. It's not just about generating clean energy, but also about using it efficiently. Improving energy efficiency in homes, businesses, and industries can drastically reduce overall energy consumption, leading to lower costs and less environmental impact.
Governments, as well as the private sector, must accelerate the transition to renewable energy. By providing incentives for individuals and businesses to install solar panels or invest in energy-efficient technologies, we can make renewable energy more accessible and affordable for everyone. This is a crucial step in reducing global emissions.
That brings us to the end of today's discussion on environmental issues. We've covered a lot of ground, from climate change to sustainable practices and the importance of education. The good news is, each of us has the power to make a difference, whether it's through our choices, actions, or advocacy.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Remember, tackling environmental issues is a shared responsibility. By staying informed, making sustainable choices, and supporting policies and businesses that protect our planet, we can all contribute to creating a more sustainable future. Let's keep pushing for change together.
If you're new here, remember, we upload English learning podcasts to help you improve your understanding of the language, develop new vocabulary, and dive deeper into important topics. We hope today's episode has given you both insights into environmental issues and valuable English practice.
Thanks for joining us on this important conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more episodes that will help you learn English and stay informed about the world around us. See you in the next episode.